Africa recently witnessed a fiery ideological and personality clash that is destined to be remembered for years. At the center of the storm stood Gayton McKenzie, president of the Patriotic Alliance, and Julius Malema, the commander-in-chief of the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF. What began as an ordinary debate on national security and economic renewal quickly spiraled into a full-scale political brawl that turned the National Assembly into a dramatic arena. Even the most seasoned political observers were left astonished by the raw intensity of the confrontation. McKenzie, known for his sharp rhetoric and uncompromisingly direct manner, entered the chamber armed with facts, indignation, and an unshakable determination to expose what he described as Malema's theater of deception. Taking the podium, he wasted no time raising the temperature in the room. "You talk of economic freedom," he began, "but your life is a monument to elite hypocrisy. You flaunt Gucci while children in Limpopo walk barefoot. You speak of revolution while dining in Santon. Who exactly are you deceiving?" The chamber filled with gasps as McKenzie tore into Malema's public image, accusing him of exploiting the struggles of the poor for personal gain. "You cry colonialism," McKenzie continued, "yet you behave like a colonizer, ruling the EFF like a king while pretending to be a servant of the people." Efforts by EFF members to cut him off were quickly dismissed by the Speaker of the House, who allowed McKenzie to press on unhindered. His delivery was pointed, passionate, and relentless. Malema, true to form, attempted to counterattack with his usual defiance. He branded McKenzie a sellout and accused him of pandering to white monopoly capital. But McKenzie stood his ground. "You don't intimidate me, Julius," he shot back. "I am not afraid of you. I've lived the life you pretend to know. I've been in prison. I've built businesses. I've fed families. And what have you done, other than shout in red overalls and shatter the little hope young South Africans still cling to?" His rebuttal drew a mixture of cheers, stunned silence, and audible disbelief. Veteran lawmakers looked on, visibly taken aback by both the strength and coherence of his words. At the heart of the clash was a collision of two political identities. McKenzie, a self-made entrepreneur with a checkered past, positioned himself as a pragmatic reformer. Malema, the revolutionary firebrand, had built his career on fiery populism and far-left economic proposals. Yet McKenzie flipped the narrative, accusing Malema of being all rhetoric and no results. He cited the EFF's failed municipalities, questionable sources of funding, and inability to deliver tangible development. "People can't eat slogans. They don't sleep under red berets. They need jobs, safety, and dignity. You're too busy building your brand to build your country," McKenzie thundered. Within hours, clips of the heated exchange went viral. Twitter, now X, Facebook, and TikTok exploded with commentary, much of it praising McKenzie's performance as a much-needed wake-up call for Malema. Influential commentator Maisenin Lozi tweeted, "McKenzie didn't just challenge Malema, he dismantled him. This wasn't political theater, it was surgical demolition." Ordinary South Africans echoed the sentiment, many applauding McKenzie for giving voice to frustrations that had been simmering for years. Hashtags like #McKenzie vs Malema, #Parliament Clash, and #EFF Exposed dominated social media, accompanied by memes and favorite soundbites from the showdown. Supporters highlighted McKenzie's raw authenticity, his first-hand understanding of poverty, crime, and survival, as a refreshing break from the polished detachment of career politicians. His personal story, from convict to entrepreneur to politician, lent credibility among South Africans who often feel abandoned by the system. "He speaks like someone who actually knows the streets. That's why people listen," one user posted. Meanwhile, loyal EFF supporters rallied behind Malema, accusing the media of bias and orchestrating a smear campaign against their leader. Yet even some left-leaning analysts conceded that the clash exposed glaring weaknesses in the EFF's message and leadership. Political analyst Stanley Dembether noted, for the first time in a long while, Malema seemed unsettled, not because he was shouted at, but because someone finally stood up to him with unfiltered grassroots reality. Whether this fiery encounter will translate into long-term electoral gains for the Patriotic Alliance remains uncertain. What is clear, however, is that the dominance Malema and the EFF once enjoyed over radical rhetoric is now being openly contested. McKenzie may not yet command large parliamentary numbers, but on this day, he captured the attention of the nation. His takedown of Malema was meticulous, deeply personal, and strategically crafted. That parliamentary session was not just another heated debate, it was a declaration, a warning, and perhaps the first true reckoning Malema has faced within the chamber. Beyond the viral trend, the moment signaled a possible turning point in South African politics. Citizens are increasingly unwilling to settle for empty slogans and symbolic gestures, they are demanding real outcomes. And if McKenzie's blistering dismantling of Malema is any indication, a new era of political accountability may have just arrived.